Hey guys, I'm always talking to you about mental health, getting outdoor time. I've spoken about fishing, how important it is to me. Golf is another recreational sport that I love to do so that I could have, good mental health. Makes me just overall like a happier, more pleasant person if I get that time too. And as veterans, I think we put onto ourselves over and over like this idea you got to work, 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 and family, 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 grind, grind, grind. And it's important like that you do those things for sure, but you also need breaks. And for me, one of my favorite pastimes is fishing. And I got to go on a fishing trip of a lifetime this summer in Seward, Alaska. I want to thank JDoc, and no, I'm not paid by them in any way, shape, or form. I actually paid them to take me fishing. And I'll talk to you guys about that and all the costs. But I want to give you some ideas about this so you know how you could save a lot of money and potentially you can go out there and do this fishing trip too, and for a pretty reasonable price. Let's go. All right, first and foremost, I want you to understand your flights are going to depend on where you live. And the earlier you book, typically, the better you can get a flight. But you want to fly into Anchorage, Alaska as the airport. And from there, you're going to have to commute to Seward, Alaska. Now, there's two ways of doing this. One, you could rent a car your traditional way or go through like Turo as an app. I find that Turo's a lot cheaper. And you could get to Seward, Alaska. It's about an hour and a half commute, depending on the traffic, and they're working on the roads there. It's a beautiful drive. So I recommend stopping along the way and definitely taking a look at the whale watching sites. It's just picturesque there. Also, you could take the train from Anchorage, Alaska to Seward. It's a longer drive, obviously, is the train, but you get to take in a lot of the sights, and I hear that the train is really cool. And according to a lot of individuals, it's significantly cheaper. Okay, now let's talk about hotel stay when you get into Seward, because your boat's going to leave at about 5:45 in the morning for this trip, and it doesn't arrive back until like 5 or 6, and you pretty much have to stay until the next day around noon to get your fish frozen. So let's talk about a hotel stay. So we stayed at the Breeze Inn simply because the Breeze Inn was directly at the dock. We walked about one city block to the place, and it was approximately $279 a night. There is nicer hotels. You got to go a little further inland. They cost more. And talking to some of the folks on the boat, there's also lots of VRBO and Airbnb options in Seward that are really nice for families as well. But you want to make sure you're in Seward. You don't want to have a long commute in the morning. Yeah. Because when it comes to the actual fishing cost, JDoc is, for me, the way to go. I've sent buddies on this before, and they love JDoc. I do too. Again, I have no affiliation with them whatsoever. I just think they make it really easy, and I'll explain. Their fishing cost during the August time frame was $375 per person to get on the boat and do fishing. You are going to most likely max out. That was my experience both days with them, and every other time my friends have gone with them, which has been several times. The first day, I approximately brought back about 44 pounds of fish that was filleted. And they filleted and froze everything and boxed it up in an awesome box. And that cost was approximately $122.58. Now, let's talk about what to do after that. You have to wait, till, like I said, till the next day around noon for the fish to be frozen. That's approximately how long it takes. You could get it back two different ways. Now, on the second day I went fishing, I approximately got about 60 pounds of fish, and I also purchased some fish there. To have the second day shipped, it costed me about $700. I don't recommend that. What I recommend you do is what I did with my first day. And I went ahead and froze it up, waited that day till noon, and I took that back with me to my hotel, and that lasted about 24 to 48 hours, the freezing. I put it in a cold space just to make sure, and I brought it on my flight, and since it was under 50 pounds, I checked it, and it was only 40 pounds as a bag using American Airlines. Now, each airline has different costs, and if you're a member, if you have frequent flyer miles, and you have different status rewards, you could potentially bring that back for free if it's under 50 pounds, because that's what luggage usually costs. So altogether, the trip to go out fishing was $375. The hotel was about $279 a night. To get it frozen and put into boxes was about $122. And you could either ship it, which I don't recommend next day mail, because it's really expensive, or you can have it sent back with you on the plane at about $40 as a check-in. Again, your flights and your car will vary depending on what your tastes are, but that's the total cost. It was a great fishing trip. It totally maxed out. You can see some of the great photos here. And if you're interested in going, I highly recommend JDock. I think they're really good resources. If you know another fishing trip, please share it with me. And I will send you guys also here real soon halibut ceviche recipe. I don't like that food to go to waste at all. All right, God bless to each and every one of you. Get as much recreation as you can. Good luck out there.